gift that changed everything. Sarah Mitchell had been a dialysis nurse for 15 years. At 54, she knew the rhythm of the machines by heart, knew which patients needed conversation and which needed silence. She knew how to hold hope gently, without making promises medicine couldn't keep. Robert Hayes came to the clinic every Tuesday and Thursday at 2 o'clock. Quiet man, maybe early 60s, always brought a book he never seemed to read. He'd nod politely, settle into his chair, and watch the treatment room with tired eyes that had seen too much. Over 6 months, they talked the way people do when time moves slowly. About Sarah's garden and her grandchildren, about Robert's love of jazz music and old architecture. He never mentioned what he did for work, and Sarah never asked. In the dialysis chair, everyone was the same, just people hoping for more time. When Robert's name dropped to the bottom of the transplant list due to complications, Sarah saw something flicker out in his eyes. That spark that keeps us going. She'd seen it before, that moment when people stop fighting. She went home that night to her small house on Maple Street, made herself tea, sat in her late husband's chair by the window. Tom had been gone 3 years now, and she still found herself talking to him sometimes. "He's giving up, Tom," she whispered to the empty room. "And I might be able to help." The testing took weeks. Sarah didn't tell Robert, didn't want to raise hopes that might crumble. Her daughter thought she was crazy. "Mom, you don't even really know this man." But Sarah did know him. Knew the way he thanked the staff every single visit. Knew he asked about their families. Remembered their children's names. Knew he left extra tips in the break room coffee fund. You learn who people are in the quiet moments, not the loud ones. The call came on a Wednesday. She was a match. Robert's face when the transplant coordinator told him Sarah would carry that moment forever. Disbelief, then tears streaming down weathered cheeks, then a whispered, "Why would she do this?" The surgery went well. Recovery was harder than Sarah expected, but she'd lived through worse. Her body had brought 3 children into this world. It could handle giving life one more time. Robert visited her hospital room, moving carefully with his own fresh incisions. He sat in the bedside chair and finally told her the truth. "I need you to know who I am," he said quietly. "Robert Hayes Industries, the medical supply company. I'm the CEO, was the CEO, retired last year." Sarah recognized the name. Everyone did. The company employed half the county. "I have money, Sarah, more than I'll ever spend. And I couldn't buy the one thing I needed." His voice cracked. "But you just gave it." Sarah reached for his hand. "Money doesn't have much to do with living, does it?" "Not really. My Tom, he was a postal carrier his whole life. We never had much. But we had enough. We had love and Sunday dinners and a garden that grew tomatoes as big as your fist." She smiled. "You can't put a price on waking up each morning and having purpose." "I've been so lonely," Robert admitted. "Built an empire, lost my family along the way. My wife left 20 years ago. My kids, we don't speak. I had everything and nothing at the same time." They recovered together, 2 people learning to live again. Robert, cleared to return to life outside the clinic. Sarah adjusting to 1 kidney and feeling strangely lighter for it. Robert tried to pay her, of course. Offered her amounts that made her laugh and shake her head. "That's not why people do kind things," she said. "Besides, what would I do with all that? I've got my house, my garden, my grandkids. I'm rich already." But he persisted in his own way. Quietly funded the new dialysis wing at the hospital. Established scholarships for nursing students. Started showing up at Sarah's house on Sunday mornings, sheepish and hopeful. Asking if there might be room at her dinner table. There was always room. Sarah's children were skeptical at first, but they softened watching this wealthy, powerful man learn to snap green beans, play checkers with the grandkids, sit on the porch swing talking about nothing and everything. A year later, they planted a garden together in Robert's too big, too empty backyard. Sarah brought seeds from her own garden, descendants of the plants she and Tom had grown together. "You gave me more than a kidney," Robert said one evening, hands deep in the soil. "You showed me how to live again." Sarah wiped dirt on her jeans, looked at the sun setting over the garden they'd built together. "We all need someone to remind us what matters. I'm just glad I could be that person for you." They never married, neither wanted that. But they became family in the way that matters most. 2 souls who found each other in the most unexpected place, proving that the greatest gifts we give aren't things we can hold in our hands, but pieces of ourselves we offer freely without expecting anything in return. The end.